Thanks, Atletico. Gracias. Gracias por absolutely nothing. I bet we all were hoping that Real Atletico would drop some points today. Maybe a draw, maybe Atletico win. But it had to be Benzema, right? It just had to be Benzema. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. And today we're going to be talking, of course, about the game in La Liga between Barcelona and Levante. This is a very special game because after the very first, let's call it, blip of Quique Setién, we bounced back in La Copa and got a 5-0 victory over Leganes in a new formation, a new system that we haven't seen implemented from Setién just yet, which was the 4-3-3. It was a kind of hybrid 4-3-3 because at times, yes, we were playing a 3-5-2 in the Copa del Rey game, but overall, most of the time, it was that regular 4-3-3 that we all know and love. I think that down to that, it was one of the main reasons we were able to be as dominant and as simply just electric as we were against Leganes. And also the goal in the very first 2 minutes that had a lot to do. So in this game, I want us to repeat the same protocols, the same kind of processes that we followed in that game against Leganes to see if it was a one-off thing, because with Valverde most of the time it would be like, oh yeah, 5-0 victory like that. But Quique Setién in interviews has already said many times that he expects his players to do a lot more, that they don't even know what they're capable of. So let's demonstrate that here in today's game against Levante and see whether it was just a blip, it was just an anomaly, or that's the Barça that we could possibly get for the remainder of the campaign. When taking a look at the form of both two teams, in the case of Barcelona, we just got a victory coming back from a loss, then another win, and then a loss at the Supercopa of Atletico Madrid. It has been 3 wins in the last 5 games, which is very positive for us after a very kind of up and down, I would say, roller coaster of emotions. I've repeated myself twice now. In the case with Leganes, they're going downhill and pretty fast, only winning 1 of the last 4 games, and the last 3 games all ended in defeat. They haven't been able to win a single time in La Liga since the start of the year, and that has to be very disappointing for Paco Lopez. There will be something that I would like to change against Barcelona, but as records, as you will see right now, do not favorize that at all. Leganes, every time we've played them in the Camp Nou, they have never got a win. In the past 5 games, Barcelona against Leganes hasn't been the most successful of results either for us, I would say. Because out of the last 5 games, we've only been able to win 3, but all of them has been at our own stadium. Away from home, that's where we struggle at Leganes. You know that terrific, terrible defeat that we saw at Riazor this earlier campaign in 2019. But at Barcelona, at our Camp Nou, I don't think we should really see that much of a problem. If we take into account that our form has been absolutely incredible, being undefeated in the last 10 games here and winning 4 of the last 5 of them, it's going to be hard for Leganes to be able to get the win here. And their away form is also not that good either. The same as their actual form, to be honest. 4 losses in the last 5 games. What I want to add to this is that Barcelona and Levante has never been a game where Levante or Barcelona want to kind of close themselves down and ensure it's going to be a very challenging game. No. Most of the time between Barcelona and Levante, and as with a 50% of the time, both teams have scored, and the goals in total has been over 3.95, meaning that we will see some goals in this game, and hopefully most of the goals will be coming for Barcelona, because as I will explain later down the road, one of the main things that now Quique Setién has to improve on for me has to be that defense. Under Quique Setién, we've already seen 2 clean sheets, which is very positive, and I want that to continue. Because later down the road, we get the semifinals of La Copa del Rey, we get the semifinals of the Champions League, or whatever important game that may come. One of the main key areas that Barcelona struggled under Valverde was that we could score, but then we would also concede in many stupid chances. We would lose concentration in the very first few minutes of the game. Because as you can see, those very first few minutes are super important. In that game against Leganes, the goal from Antoine Griezmann very early into the game broke completely any sort of plan that Javier Aguirre and his men was going to have, while Barcelona could just relax and then be able to continue carry on that pressure and really mount it onto Leganes. contrary to itself under Valverde, we would concede that goal, and then Barcelona, everyone on the crowd, the media, everyone would be all ready to see, oh, new humiliation for Barcelona, and that was a super pressure on the players that they were not able to carry. They were playing for two. They had to play for themselves and had to play for the next guy that's going to come afterwards, because they're going to get scrutinized on the media and they will not even be able to turn on the TV late at night. That's the sort of kind of things that we need to avoid on the Quique Setién. Return to the usual old. Just start a game and be focused. Simply, how hard can that be? Quique Setién has demonstrated that that is going to be a big change. And thankfully we're starting to see that, but I want it to repeat itself here against Levante. Moving on to our hot takes, what can we expect from Barcelona and Levante? In the case of Barcelona, we are going to retain that 4-3-3 for three main important reasons, in my opinion. The very first one is the simply radical improvement that we saw against Leganes. That's the best argument I can give to you guys. The 4-3-3 worked against them. Let's try it against Levante, a team where they're going to be a little bit more open. They always tend to collapse. That's something I'm going to mention later down the road, because Levante, they're not too good when it comes to the second half. Let's just put it that way. It also shows that all the players had better understanding of where exactly to position themselves, and the main guy here for me was Frenkie de Jong. Here at Barca, and already commented by Quique Setién on his press conference, De Jong will be playing a much more advanced role, because Setién, Busquets is his main CDM, and has said that it will be, if he can, for many, many years to come. So De Jong will have to play further forward. And I actually kind of tend to like that. De Jong had a little bit much more of association going forward, and had that kind of just use his legs to kind of get back into the space whenever there was a counterattack. But he was joining the attack freely. He was associating, connecting the link between the midfield and attack that normally that was a problem with Barcelona. And if we're not going to have someone like Messi all the time coming in deep, trying to pick up the ball, which he shouldn't, Frenkie de Jong can do that job. And I like him being a little further forward for the time being. I think he's a complete all-around midfielder and can do every single position in that midfield excellently, impeccably. So further forward for the time being, while we don't have a player like that, which is not called Lionel Messi, he can be a perfect support man for him. And then finally, whilst we were playing the 3-5-2 under Setién, Ansu Fati was slotted through the right-hand side. But in here, he was playing through the left and he looked much more deadly. It seems like he's just a more natural kind of player when playing through the left-hand side. He feels much more confident because he can be put into his right foot, he can cut into it and then shoot whenever he wants to. He can get past the players, and he was given a very hard time to the left back of Leganes, the right back of Leganes during that game. He was really making it complicated and was able to not only gain space, gain time for other midfielders to join into attack, but for Messi and Antoine Griezmann to position himself inside the box. And many of the chances occurred through the left-hand side for Ansu Fati, especially in the first 20 minutes. He was the most involved player, I would say, one of the man of the matches in that game. So here's what I mean with Levante just completely collapsing in the last few minutes. So I expect that Levante, in other words, are going to commit self-destruct at some point during this game, and maybe we'll see another battering like the one against Leganes. I feel confident for this game, I really do, because of the following. Of the last 6 goals conceded that Levante has in the last 4 games, 4 of those goals have come in the second half, and 3 of them after the 75th minute. Guys, that means that at some point, someone's going to press the self-destruct button. They got some composure for the very first few minutes because of those last 3 games. In 3 of them, the first half ended 0-0. It means they kind of want to keep the game slow for a moment, and then Paco Lopez tell his team, go there, attack, win it. And that's when they collapse. That's when they collapse completely. And Barcelona, guess what? Around the 75th minute, where Barcelona has scored the most goals this season. So everything points always to another battering, really. And I know it's a very big hot take to say. I never want to be that confident. I never like to do so, because the last time I was confident, Liverpool completely demolished us 4-0 and I was crying on the floor. So I'm taking a huge risk here, guys. My reputation is on the line. I think we could see a battering for Barcelona here. So with that being said, I'm going to move onwards into my predicted lineups. So with Barcelona, we're going to be seeing a 4-3-3. We should retain that in all costs. I think that's our best formation. It really, really is. Ter Stegen in the goalkeeper position. I'm going to be putting Semedo over Sergio Roberto. I think Semedo has done a better job, whilst Sergio Roberto has been a better center back, but we're playing a 4-3-3. That 3-man center back thing doesn't occur here. Semedo should be the guy. He has been playing incredibly well. And the same with the first center back, which is going to be Clement Lenglet. I'm going to be talking about Lenglet a little bit further down the road, but next to him right now, we have Gerard Piqué and then Jordi Alba. The three-man midfield is going to be Sergio Busquets, Frenkie de Jong, and Artur. I would say that Vidal should play for Artur maybe, but Vidal has seemed to have some sort of kind of bruise on in some part of his ankle or something Setien like that mentioned on the press conference, and he apparently was not going to be included in training today. So maybe he won't be included in the match day tomorrow. I'm not too sure on that. We have to see how Arturo Vidal develops, but it wasn't nothing like anything big. And then the front three was Ansu Fati, for me, Lionel Messi, and Antoine Griezmann. On the other hand, in the case of Levante, I think they're going to be going with a back five simply because it makes a lot more sense. In the games against Atletico Madrid, where they lost 2-1, and against Deportivo Alavés, where they also lost 1-0, they played two lines of four. Why? Because those two teams are going to let you have some of that possession. But Barcelona here, they won't. So a back five makes such good sense for Paco Lopez here. So the goalkeeper is going to be, in my opinion, Aitor Fernandez. Then we're going to see Ruben Beso, Postillo, and Oscar Duarte. Toño is going to be the left wing back. And then for the right-hand side, we're going to be seeing Miramon. The two midfielders as a holding is going to be Jose Campaña and Nemanja Radoja, previously of Celta Vigo. Then I think we're going to be seeing Rochina as that kind of number 10, trying to just kind of bounce out of the two strikers and start the counterattack, which are going to be Roger Marti and Jose Luis Morales. And well, now at the end, guys, my prediction time is going to be for this game. And as you can see, I was feeling very confident about it, and I still am. I think that Barcelona can potentially get, I'd never go this high, but I think we're going to see like a 4-0 victory. And for me, the most important thing here are not the goals. I want to see those clean sheets. And there's the thing, we already have two, like I mentioned, and I just want that to continue. I think that's some sort of kind of consistency thing that Barcelona had before. And I've been seeing the defensive numbers of a team like Real Madrid. They have considered only 13 goals in their entire season. That is absolutely insane. Atletico Madrid have 14, and they're like almost like out of the Champions League places. What are Barcelona doing? I think that's one stage of our game that we haven't been focusing enough. I was saying that the first thing is kind of to regain the rhythm and system of the team and then focus on the defense. So now is sort of that time to start focusing on that defensive area of the game. Ter Stegen is back to his usual self. We have Piqué, thereabouts. The Davis Cup thing is already kind of gone on away. Shakira is on her concert tour or whatever in Super Bowl. So Piqué can stay here, focus on that. And then Lenglet Umtiti, you already know. I think it's going to be Lenglet, Jordi Alba, Semedo, whatever. So defensive. Please, Barcelona. Please. So that's going to be everything for today, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Today I'm going to be taking a little bit more time out of my gaming FIFA schedule that I always have at night to read some of your comments. So yeah, see you there. See you in the next one as well. Take care. Ciao.